Entitled Parents Keep Parking in Front of Our Driveway, by user DarthCurse3131. For context, we live in an apartment building with 6 units. There are 2 parkings, on each side of the building, for a total of 8 parking spots. Both entrances are wide, like 2 to 3 cars wide, but the parkings don't reach at the back of the building, only the sides, can't make a U-turn. Both entrances on the street, and an elementary school is right at the end of that street, 2 houses down. There is a roundabout in front of that school for parents to drop off and pick up their kids. The morning aren't that bad, as most kids walk or come by bus, or the parents very quickly drop them off into the roundabout. But lunches are crazy. My fiancé comes back home during his lunch hour and always has to tell at least 3 parents to move from the entrance of our driveway. They don't park in the driveway, just in front of it, 2 or 3 cars usually. We can also see them park in front of other people's driveways. It would be fine if they were just parked on the street, but they keep blocking us. Their answers are usually, "Can't you wait 5 minutes while I get my kid?" or "You've got space to leave the driveway," or they ignore us completely. We called the school multiple times before to tell them what happened, but it seems the parents could use some lessons in listening skills, as the problem never went away. Well, this week we've had enough. Parking illegally in front of a driveway is something the local police was very interested in, especially after 4 houses and 3 apartment blocks called them one after the other on the same day, Monday. We all called back Tuesday when it happened again, and they told us, "We hear you, just make sure your cars aren't parked in front of your own driveways and we'll take care of it." That night, the town had posted a notice on their page to not park in front of driveways when picking up/dropping off your kids, and that a ticket could be issued. Subtle foreshadowing here. Well, yesterday was the day. 2 police cars came on the street and blocked in anyone who wanted to leave. They had prepared multiple infraction tickets, ready to be filled. They flagged down every single car that was parked even an inch in front of a driveway and issued tickets. The whole thing took at least an hour, as they wouldn't let anyone leave until everyone got their ticket and their gentle reminder not to park illegally. There was school today, and we allowed an officer to park in our driveway to supervise the dropping off/picking up of kids at lunch. Guess the word got around fast, as no one stopped in front of anyone's driveways. The officer said next time it happens, take a picture and send it to his email. A picture is a good proof of a crime committed, and in a small town like ours, finding people like them is the highlight of their days. So all ends well for us, and not too good for the parents with poor listening skills. My dad is furious. I told him I'm moving out, please help, by user historical_ger6024. I'm 20F, from the UK and a single mother. For context, my ex-partner was abusive and is currently in prison serving sentences regarding domestic violence, strangulation, and threats to kill. There's actually 6 charges in total. All UK prisoners are now being released around the 40 to 50% mark of their sentence. I have a 6-month-old baby and he is the father, and he threatened to kill me and her. Even when I was pregnant he said he would STB my stomach and all sorts of horrible things. He gets out of prison this year, so the council have offered me a council home. It's a lovely 2-bedroom detached bungalow for me and my daughter, so he doesn't know where I'm living and can't harm us. I told my dad today that I've been offered the place, and he said I'm a bad mother for even considering moving into a council home, which is insane because I grew up in a council house myself, said that I am selfish and my baby will have to face the consequences of my terrible life decisions. I don't know what to do. My dad is a textbook narc, by the way, and I really don't use that term lightly. I know it's become a big thing on social media to just call everybody bad and narcissist, but he really is one, and everyone in our household says it. He loves having control/power over everything. I don't like raising my baby in here. He constantly calls her his baby. When she was 3 months old, I was cutting her nails and accidentally cut a bit of her skin and I started hysterically crying about it. She cried for probably 15 seconds and then didn't care. But he yelled at me for about an hour and still mentions it now. I just feel like I'm constantly on edge. The first red flag was when she was born. He rushed to the hospital straight away. So fast that I was still being stitched up in my vagina when he burst in my delivery room, and I was covered in blood. The midwives all told him he couldn't go in there because it was an active surgery, but he ignored them because he wanted to see his granddaughter. He gave me no time to cuddle my baby on my own, or to even just have an hour to get ready for visitors. That's the kind of person he is, and when I tell people that they think it's insane. I've told him I wanted his opinion on the situation, and rather than giving it to me he just hurled loads of abusive name-calling at me and I don't know what to do, please help. Am I a bad mum if I move into a council house? Edit. He said he would now disown me and only continue to have a relationship with my daughter and never talk to me again if I go through with it. My mom expects my husband to reach out to her for her medical procedure, by user anonymous2468. My mom is getting a hip replacement tomorrow but she always has medical procedures done. It happens pretty often. My husband and I are apart as we wait for our marriage visa to come through. I'm very lucky I get to see him 3 times a year in his home country of South Korea and I'm seeing him in a few weeks. From the previous times my mom has gotten procedures done she always complains that my husband doesn't reach out to her. Last summer she was in the hospital due to a stomach issue. And she asked if my husband knows. I'm sorry but why would I tell him about my mom being sick to her stomach and in the hospital? I told her no and it's her private medical business. She then freaked out and claimed I'm embarrassed over her. I'm sorry but what will he do about this? He's not even in the same country as us. I was also in the ER last summer with high blood pressure issues. Of course my husband knew and he was supportive through phone calls, FaceTime, and texts. But he's in a different country, there's seriously nothing he can do. My mom told me just now that my brother's girlfriend wished her good luck on her procedure then complained that my husband didn't reach out to her. My husband did say to me over the phone that he wishes her good luck. I told her just that and she claims that I probably didn't even tell him. She also said he's doing this all wrong and I said you can either take the best wishes he's sending your way or continue to keep whining. She didn't say anything after that so I'm hoping that's the end of that. But I don't know if I'm being rude and if my husband is wrong. I just don't know why every time she has a medical procedure that she wants my husband to know and judges him if he doesn't reach out to her. I'm very private about my medical history and if I'm in the hospital or going to the doctor. I don't want everyone to know but I guess we're different in that sense. I just hate the fact she's criticizing my husband over what I think is the dumbest reason. Am I in the wrong for not wanting to tell my mother about me getting monetized on YouTube? By user positive EJ3562. Hello, the title basically speaks for itself, but I recently applied for the YouTube Partner Program and I will obviously start earning money from that. My mother is the type of person who thinks that everyone and anyone should and has to give her money if she's struggling. She's done it to my grandparents, her exes, her brothers, friends, and even me. She always says that she's depressed and that she doesn't have any money, but rarely works to get her own money. I got both of us jobs as SDNAs at a local nursing home. She said she didn't like the work and forced me to quit and her to quit. Why do I say she forced me to quit? Because she is my ride. I don't have a car and I can't get one unless I get a job. The last time she worked before this job was in the middle of January. As of right now, she hasn't worked in at least 3 weeks. Anyways, I just filled out the paperwork for the YPP, I'm awaiting approval and I haven't told her yet simply because I don't feel like telling her. I told her when I got my Twitch affiliate, but since then whenever she struggles with money, she asks me if I'm going to be getting payout from Twitch, which has caused me to not want to stream due to her wanting to take my money for her own benefit. I just want her to get a job and I need her to allow me to keep a job, but with the car situation as I mentioned above, it makes it difficult. But I just don't know if I'm in the wrong for not telling her that I'm going to be getting paid from YouTube. Is that wrong? My mom wants half of my disability tax credit, by user salty_attention 7629. Hey there. 21, NB. So recently I applied for the disability tax credit, and I had my mom added to the form. I'm not entirely sure why they offer to have a parent added to the form, but anyway, because she was part of the sign-up process, she thinks she's entitled to half of the refund I receive. I phoned Enable Benefits to confirm the money was for me, and knowing that I told her I refused to give her half but that I'd be willing to give her a small portion. She accused me of being mean and not caring for her debts, told me I was effing her over, really laying on the guilt trips. I told her if she didn't stop disrespecting me that I wouldn't give her any of the money at all. Now she hasn't spoken to me in 24 hours, and we usually talk at least a few times a day. This whole thing has me wondering if I am being too harsh or if I did the right thing.